If I said I'm black, people would believe me. If I said I'm Hispanic, people would believe me. If I said I'm white, nobody would believe me because I don't look white. Growing up, whenever I had to fill out whichever race group I was belonging to, I would always fill in African American just because that's what the teachers told me to do. I raised my hand and I said, I'm white, Hispanic, and black. Which one should I bubble? Bubble black. Always. And so I think it had more to do with maybe how my teachers perceived me than how I perceived myself, because if it were up to me, I would have bubbled all three.
Hey, mi gente, it's Julian Steve. You already know my name, but if you're new here, hey. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that won the popular vote on this channel. It's titled, When the Generation Goes White. Yes, I'm going to be explaining more details in the video, and I usually don't put a disclaimer, but I'm gonna put it right now. If you get easily offended when it comes to topics related to race, this video most likely is not going to be for you. However, I do believe that everyone should watch this video and learn from people like me. Unfortunately, race involves everything, especially when it comes to talking about the United States, but race issues are global, so it's not just the United States, but most of the video is going to be focused on the United States. Okay, mi gente? Okay, mi gente? Okay. We can start now. For a couple of years, I've noticed that on social media there has been a public discourse on celebrities, politicians, and even influencers procreating either with white people or non-black people. And I'm specifically speaking on biracial, aka mixed with black people, meaning they are half black, half white, half black, or half a different racial background. And depending on that, usually it can go two ways. However, in this video, I'm mostly focusing on black and white biracial, aka mixed with black people. But within the video, I'm going to be mentioning also biracial people that are not just black and white. When I think of celebrities who happen to have their families going completely white, I think of Donna Summer, I think of Diana Ross, I think of Sammy Sosa, and these are just a couple of celebrities. I'm pretty sure a couple of you have an idea of other celebrities, but these are the three that I can think of, at least for this video, that I've seen that their families have gone either completely white and or like close to it. I know that we cannot go based on celebrities, politicians, and influencers on mixed race people procreating with non-black people, or in this case, white people. But if you think about it, this is like, I guess, the face. And if I'm going to be truthfully honest, there are a lot of mixed race people, specifically where I'm from in New York City, where they exclusively partner with white and or non-black people, usually Latino, and I see it firsthand. I do. And it's really rare when I see a mixed race person, and I'm specifically speaking on the men, boys and men, because some are teenagers. They rarely partner with basically black women, which we're gonna get into that topic a bit later on in the video, but I just wanna put that right here, right now, before we go on to the next topic. As usual, everything goes back to slavery. Ironic, I know. I am going to read portions of Who is Black? One Nation's Definition by F. James Davis. Warning, I am going to bleep certain words due to censorship. Yeah. Let us not be confused by terminology. At present, the usual statement of the one drop rule is in terms of black blood or black ancestry, while not so long ago it referred to blood or ancestry. The term black rapidly replaced in general usage in the United States as the Black Power movement peaked at the end of the 1960s, but the black and populations are the same. The term black is used in this book for persons with any black African lineage, not just for unmixed members of populations from sub-Saharan Africa. The term, which is used in certain historical contexts, means the same thing. Terms such as African black, unmixed, and all black are used here to refer to unmixed blacks descended from African populations. Basically, the terms black and are interconnected, at least in the United States. This term also includes black people mixed with black people, and even people that are not black, or at least half black, which doesn't make sense because you're trying to tell me that someone with a small percentage of African, aka black heritage, is able to identify as a black or half black person. The way things were structured, specifically by white people, was so backwards because they had this very obsessive purity contest when it came to who is the pure white person or who is the pure race, which is ridiculous. And then that's when I seen people try to do that reverse psychology crap to black people or mixed with black people trying to gatekeep blackness, is so dumb because it's counterproductive. But once again, we'll get there when we get there. I need to calm down. Now I am going to read the next part. We must also pay attention to the terms mulatto and colored. The term mulatto was originally used to mean the offspring of a pure African and a pure white. Although the root meaning of mulatto in Spanish is hybrid, mulatto came to include the children of unions between whites and so-called mixed. For example, Booker T. Washington and Frederick Douglass, with slave mothers and white fathers, were referred to as mulattoes, to whatever extent their mothers were part white. These men were more than half white. Douglas was evidently part Indian as well, and he looked it. Washington had reddish hair and gray eyes. At the time of the American Revolution, Many of the founding fathers had some very nice slaves, including some who appeared to be white. The term colored seemed for a time to refer only to mulattoes, especially lighter ones, but later it became a euphemism for darker, even including unmixed blacks. With widespread racial mixture, came to mean any slave or descendant of a slave, no matter how much mixed. Eventually, in the United States, the terms mulatto, colored, black, and African American all came to mean people with any known black African ancestry. Mulattoes are racially mixed to whatever degree, while the terms black, African American, and colored include both mulattoes and unmixed blacks. As we shall see, these terms have quite different meanings in other countries. To summarize this portion of the article, Mr. Davis was talking about the differences between black, mulatto, and colored. In the United States, these classifications were completely different, especially back in the day. These terms were specifically for people to fit in their correct boxes. Sure, some people may not like the terms, which I already know that because of, besides, of course, talking to people in real life and seeing comments online. But I do know that certain language people do not appreciate it, especially when it refers to discussing mixed race people. However, I do believe with so many things and trying to learn about history, it is important to talk about topics like these as long as you're not disrespectful and you're nuanced to some extent. I do believe that people want to label people the correct way by making sure whoever is half black is able to identify as black too. However, I feel like a lot of black people in the United States want to force half black people, aka biracial people, to exclusively identify as just black, even though they're a different race. Well, specifically two races, and I feel like that's not helpful because now we also have people that are 1/4 black or even 1/3 black trying to identify as black, even though they're not even close to being fully black or half black. These type of issues ends up erasing black people like myself who happen to be dark skinned, who happen to be not not able to get the same opportunities as somebody who is half black or somebody who is 1/4 black or somebody who is 1/3 black. We do not get the same opportunities because they are considered more desirable to white people or non-black people. Why do you think certain people that are quote unquote black are able to excel in their fields or excel when it comes to like scholarships or like in the past or within the community? That does play a factor too.
This is a kind of a fascinating, while also being really uninspired, boring topic for me. Not what you're saying, but this like the unnecessary complication of like, or as I think sometimes self-imposed complication of being mixed or biracial. Like it's not that deep. We live in America. This country's racial politics are so poisonous and clear. if race doesn't exist, right? It actually doesn't exist scientifically,
Yeah.
but it exists in real life. It fucking exists.
Yeah.
It matters. And you're black. And if you don't find out you're black until you get called a nigga when you're 30 or 3, like, lived experience matters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your personal experience matters, and I'm only a product of mine. But I don't know. It feels almost like, I'm gonna sound insensitive, but it's a lot harder to be fucking black.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know how easy it is to be biracial and mixed? Like, colorism is so real. Like, people complaining about things that, like, it's like being a man complaining about how hard it is being a man. And I shouldn't say this. This is out of context. But I've lived with it for a long time, and I've lived in multiple different planets in this universe in terms of race, and I just think we should prioritize and have some, like, context and perspective on what are factors and what aren't, and what it's hard to. It is very confusing in a world that is so black and white, literally and figuratively, if you are in the middle.
Right.
Sure, that is confusing. I imagine it's probably a lot more confusing to be dark skinned and to be told that you're trash, but also we worship you and want to be like you, but we hate you. Like,
Speaking of relationships, yes, most biracial people, aka mixed with black people, tend to date white people and or marry white people exclusively. I do want to know that most mixed race people, regardless of race, are more likely to marry a white person. This is from statistics. It's not just me just saying it. It's a fact. I want to read 2 paragraphs from The Surge of Young Americans from Minority White Mixed Families and Its Significance for the Future by Richard D. Abra. Mr. Abra says, most tellingly, individuals from mixed minority and white family backgrounds appear mostly to marry whites. On the one hand, supporting the notion that whites make up disproportionate shares of their social menus, and on the other, ensuring that the next generation, their children, will grow up in heavily white, if still mixed, family contexts. Romantic partners typically are chosen from the people encountered in everyday social environments such as school or work. High probabilities of marrying whites indicate that these menus are preponderantly white. Although we cannot discount the possibility that some mixed individuals seek out a white partner because of white status at the top of the ethno-racial hierarchy. He continues, for those of black and white parentage, marriage to whites is unsurprisingly less common, but it is much more frequent than is true for individuals from black-only backgrounds. More than 40% of black white men have white partners. This figure is higher than the percentage with spouses who are black only or black white. Somewhat more than 1/3 of black white women are married to white, a percentage about equal to the fraction with black only partners. The expansion of the category through the ancestry data substantially lowers the intermarriage percentage because it brings in many individuals who classify themselves as only black on the race question. These are individuals who, it appears, are in heavily African American social menus. Now, when it comes to biracial, aka mixed with black people, they tend to not date and or marry white people as much as other races, like mixed race people dating out, even though they are half of that race. But my point is dating white and or non-black people, it is still common according to this article. And I want to also point out another thing that I kind of mentioned earlier on in this video. It's likely for somebody who happens to be a biracial man, aka a mixed with black man, to date a white person and or a non-black person versus a mixed with black woman. That also depends if that mixed with black man dates someone who is biracial, aka mixed with black like him. And this is according to the article. I'm just trying to like summarize it to anyone who may have been confused. Mixed with black women are more likely inclined to date within their race, well, within black spaces, than dating within white spaces. However, it's kind of common for them to do the same thing too. It's just not in a higher rate. And I do also want to know, we're talking about people that are married. We're not talking about people that are just dating. But I'm pretty sure it's kind of similar because, like I've mentioned earlier, a lot of the mixed race people that are men, and specifically that are half black, in New York City, specifically the Bronx, they are more likely to date someone who is not black. And if they do date someone who is black, it has to be someone who's half black. If you're not half black, they do not want to date you. As messed up as that sounds, I'm just being honest. And unless, like, for example, I noticed that biracial men, aka mixed with black men, who happened to have a black mother, they were more inclined to date a black woman. According to Merriam-Webster, pandering is to say, do, or provide what someone such as an audience wants or demands, even though it is not good, proper, reasonable, etc. I'm providing the definition of pandering here in case if you're not familiar with the word. A lot of celebrities and politicians pander too much. However, we're talking specifically about mixed with black celebrities who do pander to the black community. Zoe Saldana panders a lot, especially back then when it came to her portraying Nina Simone or identifying her mostly white and or non-black children as black. Zoe's twin, Tandy Wade Newton, also panders a lot, trying to relate with brown to darker skinned black women, yet she still takes roles for fully black women and her family's white. She married and procreated with a white man. Jarrell Jerome definitely panders to black people. While he does roles pertaining to black and mixed with black men and or boys, don't forget about the boys, even speaking out a couple of times about injustices, he still finds a way to not only be palatable to white and Latinos, he exclusively partners with non-black women and puts them as love interests in his music videos. Similarly to Jarrell, The Weeknd panders to black people too. I even made a whole breakdown video on him. To this day, I get complaints from his fan base. Please watch. The more people with common sense watching the video, the better. Blake Griffin panders too, but in a different way. He does it in a sneaky way. He'll bring up his racism experience as a mixed race person, one of them being rejected by a white girl for being biracial, yet his ex-fiance and children are white. As a matter of fact, he exclusively dates white or non-black women. Ironic. And what's more funny, kind of, is that I thought that Blake Griffin was a white man with a tan until I found out how his racial makeup looked like. I saw the pictures of his mother and father. That's when I realized, oh, he's actually biracial. I wasn't sure because he didn't read to me as biracial. Now, we're at the section of the video where I talk about 1/4 black people. Yes, it gets that ridiculous. We're going back to old school terms. I'm not going to use the actual definition, but if you know the word, you know. I'm not going to use it because I'm not that disrespectful, but to be respectful, I'm going to say 1/4 black people. Because we all know they're not black, but for the section, we have to talk like that. I'm going to name a couple of celebrities who happen to be 1/4 black. Keep in mind, these celebrities either A, publicly said that they were biracial, specifically half black. B, they said something about their parent, most of the time being the father, being a black man, even though the parent is actually biracial, half black, and or their fan base and or publications have claimed that these people were half black apparently, even though they're not. The following celebrities who have claimed to be black or half black: Halsey, Amber Rose, Logic, Ray, Tyler, Cassie, Kanani, Keonda Day, Wentworth Miller, and Isaiah Hartenstein.
Let's just jump right into it. Are you black?
I really wanted to cover that. I'm actually happy about this. Explain your blackness or level of blackness.
So my level of blackness, I mean, I put, you know, it's like light skin. I'm bright skin.
Ooh.
So, like,
okay,
above,
bright skin. I like that.
I'm above.
My child's bright skin.
I'm above light skin. No, but yeah, my dad's black. Anytime people find out, y'all know Key and Peele, the show?
Yeah.
So, you know, like when Barack Obama
Yeah.
going in, white man handshake different, black.
Mm-hmm.
When they find out I'm black,
You got the good handshake.
It changes. Like, it's the whole vibe. The whole vibe changes. It goes from, hey, Zay, how you doing? Hey, yo, Zay, what up, man? You good? So the whole vibe changes.
They were giving you one of these before, the straight hand?
No, it's like, it's really like that. I think Hart did the same thing.
Yeah,
He's like, oh,
it's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
I'm
pleasure
like,
to meet you.
You know I'm black. It changes. Like, oh, Zay.
Yeah, I heard you was black, but I found out he was black. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
No, but yeah, my dad is probably the same skin tone as y'all, but my mom's genes kind of took over with that.
These 10 celebrities some way somehow got lumped in the half black or black categories. You hear how fucking dumb that sounds? I know that mistakes can happen where people beneath certain people make up that specific racial category. It's possible. I've done it a couple of times too, even with a couple of the people I've mentioned right now in this video. However, now that I'm older and I can actually tell most of the time when somebody is fully black or half black, there's no way I'm going to confuse these people as being half black or even black. And I know people are going to get mad at me for saying this, but I'm not going to be erased by people that do not look like me and or at least not being half black.
How beautiful I was. Of course, she was my mother. Let's remember that. And I am her only child. And how wonderful it is to have this mixed race, and how mixed race people are so much more interesting. No offense to everyone who's not, but I think look, there's one thing I think we should all be able to take a DNA test from birth, because we all would realize how much more mixed up we are.
Henry
we see
Louis
that.
Gates.
Yes.
Oh boy.
And second of all, I mean, my father was as white, pasty, Irish, German Irish as you can
So
get.
here's my father. This
Right.
happens. You talk about in your memoir that your mom, who was also multiracial, had such tragedy in her past, and what she overcame was remarkable. You said, being both illegitimate and of mixed race, my mother was treated as an outcast by almost everyone around. Beneath all of the fame and success, she was still that cotton picker from the South who'd grown up poor, hungry, abused, and rejected.
Yeah.
Then we have to talk about identifying people who happen to be 3 or more races. And people that come to mind are K Brown, Cardi B, which I talked about a lot in this channel, and Janae Eichel.
If I said I'm black, people would believe me. If I said I'm Hispanic, people would believe me. If I said I'm white, nobody would believe me because I don't look white. Growing up, whenever I had to fill out whichever race group I was belonging to, I would always fill in African American just because that's what the teachers told me to do. I raised my hand and I said, I'm white, Hispanic, and black. Which one should I bubble? Bubble black. Always. And so I think it had more to do with maybe how my teachers perceived me than how I perceived myself, because if it were up to me, I would have bubbled all 3. I think my life would be different if I married a white man. I think that I would just be perceived differently as well. I came home like a couple months ago and my mom was like, the way you are on Facebook makes you seem like you're black. And I'm just like, wow. I literally haven't changed anything. And my husband says things and he thinks it's funny, and I guess it's kind of funny, but you're married to a black man, so you're black now.
And it bothers me how naive some black people tend to be when it comes to people either A, they find desirable, B, they happen to enjoy their music, C, they believe just because they look like they are black, they are going to condone them identify as black or half black, or other stupid reasons as to why these people may be a part of the community, which is a problem. We cannot just put people within our spaces just because they have like some percentage of blackness that's insignificant. And what's wild with this topic is that I know people who happen to have a parent who is biracial, but they do not claim to be half black or black. You want to know why? Because they're respectful. They actually care about black identity, biracial, a.k.a. mixed with black identity. They actually care about their family's lineage. They care about that previous history and what's happening currently. The people that I'm talking about that are 1/4 black, they know they are not a black or mixed with black person, because they already know that that's not how race works. And before anyone says race is a social construct, that logic is not going to work with me right now, because I'm talking about something really serious here. We need to stop having people that are not really black and or half black identifying as that. If you know that's not their ancestry, you have to call it out. I don't care if you like their music. I don't care if they pay your rent. I don't care if you're dating them. I don't care if you have some sympathy for them to having an identity crisis, because I've had those moments too with people as well that happen to be 1/4 or 1/3 Black. Do these same people care about people like us who are fully Black, who face discrimination? Hopefully, people that are 1/3 Black or 1/4 Black, one, stop identifying as Black or half Black, but two, actually respect their ancestors. Because if you genuinely respected your ancestors, you wouldn't be trying to erase your actual lineage and just act natural and accept that your generation has shifted because of the choices you decided with partnering with certain people and or procreating with certain people. Your trajectory has changed, and respect that what happened back then is not your current situation. Thank you so much if you made it this far in this video. I appreciate you. Be sure to like this video, comment, share, and subscribe. I already know this video is going to get people mad, but it is what it is. I said what I said. I'm not going to take back anything I said. If you have anything to comment back to me that makes common sense, yes, comment. If you want to see more positive content from me, you can watch my previous videos, my 2 previous videos where I talked about fitness related content. You can watch that positive stuff, even though it's not really positive like that, but you know, it's more chill compared to this video. Okay, mi gente. Okay, mi gente. Okay. Thank you and peace, mi gente.